Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of The Buzz. I'm your host, Todd Jaden. My co-host, Tammy Gruner.
Hi, everyone.
And today we have a very special guest, Dan Simons, who leads our maintenance operations. So I will tell you this, Dan, it's your first opportunity to do a Buzz. Our drivers love the maintenance stuff.
Yes.
So,
Good.
yeah, now typically, so keep this in mind for next time, when someone from maintenance comes, they normally have a prop. So you didn't bring a prop, but next time you can bring a prop, because Stu Sarklo and Gerald were on here last week, and they always bring props.
They bring good ones.
Yeah, they bring good ones. All right, so what we're going to talk about today is an expanded maintenance service that really started last week. And for those of you that are familiar with our service vehicles that are out doing maintenance, we've expanded that to our operating center locations where we have maintenance services. So let's talk about what we're doing, because we're proactively going out into the trailer pool and doing repairs versus waiting for drivers to point that out to us.
Yep, you got it, Todd. So here's the basic premise is we want to get out twice a week, or twice a day, 7 days a week to all of our shop locations, identify anything that's on the yard that has a tire issue, brake issue, needs an ABI done on that trailer. We want to make sure that we red tag that. We get it set up in our system to be repaired, and we get it set up in the shop so it gets repaired before the driver touches it.
Yeah, so what the benefit is, as you go out and you pick up a trailer, it should be roadworthy if we're doing our job.
Yeah.
And if we're out there doing that twice a day, that will allow us to kind of stay in front of the issues that we're dealing with.
Absolutely.
So, any questions?
Why did this come up? What benefits can the drivers see from doing these yard checks?
Absolutely. So clearly, from a driver experience perspective, this is one of the largest irritants that I hear when I'm visiting the field is I show up at our operating center and the trailer is not in good working order, right? So we want to address
all the
that,
time.
and we want to make sure that we have a better driver experience, especially at our four walls, right? The facilities that we manage, we want to make sure that equipment's in great shape and isn't going to be a negative experience for that driver to show up to work and then have to go visit the shop to get that trailer fixed.
Yeah.
And then just as a reminder to the drivers, how many service trucks do we have out doing this at big customer trailer pool locations?
Yeah, we have roughly 30 service trucks across the country that do this work at customer locations as well. So that's their sole accountability is when they're at these customer locations, they're looking for the same type of work that needs to get done at those customer locations and trying to make that a good driver experience once we get to those customer locations as well.
Okay, so before you ask the last question, Tammy, I'm just going to make a point here, is when you go into the OC yards, I don't want you ripping red tags off of trailers and just taking it, right? That's an indication that trailer needs some work. So that's my advice to those of you watching. How about any last questions here?
How can the drivers help? What do you need from them?
Yeah, so a couple of things. Obviously, the DVIR is still critical, right? So we still need drivers to perform that DVIR, make sure that they're flagging or identifying any issues that they have with their equipment that automatically feeds into our systems, and we're able to execute against that and work through that. The second thing that I'd say is, if a driver does have an issue as they're coming into the yard, bring it right into the shop and we'll get it taken care of straight away before that trailer gets dropped, and we avoid that issue altogether. And the last thing that I'd say is really around our trailer banks, right? So if a driver runs into an issue over the road with a tire, go ahead and use one of our trailer banks. We have that located on Compass so they can find where those are at, and you don't need to call SEM. You can just drive right into those trailer banks in their open hours, get that tire repaired, and get back out on the road right away.
Fantastic. I think this is great news.
Well, it is. And I will tell you, for 34 years, I have heard about trailer maintenance and how do we stay in front of it. And it certainly is a challenge, but this is an opportunity for us to get better. Now, what I don't want to hear is, hey, Jaden, you said this was going to be fixed on the Buzz, because we just started it.
Right.
And so there may still be some issues. But certainly get us feedback, because we do want to stay out in front of us. The other thing I'll close with is, over the course of my career, I've met thousands of drivers who have picked up bad order trailers. I've never met a driver who dropped one off. And so we got to help each other, help ourselves. That's it for this week's edition of The Buzz. You take care. Drive safe.